Welcome back to Tutorial Tidbits. I'm Elizabeth St. Hilaire, and today I'm going to give you a sneak peek into my collage application process. I have this little sweet blue bird with dogwood flowers on a branch that I have just begun, and I thought that I would show you how I apply the collage to the flower portion of it. So, if you've got a few minutes and a little artistic curiosity, let's check it out. Welcome back. Today I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of collage application, specifically on these dogwood flowers. If you'd like to see the full-length, in-depth tutorial of this entire piece collaged, including the branch and the birds and the little leaves, plus tutorial videos on how to build the whitewash background, then I would love to have you join me on my Patreon page, where there is full-length tutorial videos published every week for ongoing learning through the collage process. But anyway, today for our tidbit, I'm going to show you how I collage these flowers. So I work from the back to the front. So within these flowers, I need to do the petals that are furthest back first. And I've underpainted this, paying close attention to my values with golden fluid acrylics. And so now it's just a matter of auditioning my paper to see if it matches the value in the color and to work on the petals from the back to the front. Once I choose a paper that works, I tear it. I never use scissors because I want these all to look like little brush marks so it looks like a painting. And I put that color right in there because it matched in color and value. Now, I can't always tear every petal perfectly. Sometimes I have to build it up out of several small shapes, which is what I'm doing right now. But sometimes I get lucky and I get the whole petal shape in one tear. And that's always a happy thing. But when you glue the same paper next to itself, you get the visual effect that it's all one paper anyway. And so that is why the next petal I'm going to switch to a different paper for visual variety and so that it looks different than the petal next to it. So here I'm going to put this sort of still medium but slightly lighter pink in there. Now these petals are curling over, so I've got to put the curled tops on after I do the petals. But I'm going to go ahead in here and do this dark corner with another dark pink paper. And lay that in. So then I'm going to do the light pink, which means I'm either going to grab it out on the edge, the periphery of a gel print where there's pink and white, or I'm going to get a pattern that's pink and white, or I'm going to get a paper with a stencil that's pink and white that gets me to a real light pink at the tips. So for this one, I'm going to use this paper right here. And this petal is also behind the bird, so it is important that we would establish this flower before we did the bird. And it's okay if I overlap into the bird a little bit, because when I come back with my orange paper, I'm going to run it right over the tip of that petal. So as much as I like this, I'm not going to use it again in the same place. I might like to grab this one with a pattern on it just for fun. But it's a little bold, so I'm going to skip that pattern on this one. And I'm going to find a paper. Here's a fun paper. A fun way that I do light colors is a splatter of that color on white. And then I will grab out the little pink splatters and use those on white rice paper to create my light tip. The rice paper is translucent, and so it allows some of the pink hue from the painting underneath it to show through it, making it ever so pale pink. I love those little dots, so I'm going to navigate out one little dot here, and I'm going to add it to the top tip of this petal. Now I'd like to use something different over on this one, so I've got this paper with a really light pink on it. And I'm going to let that be the curl of the tip of that petal there. Now, I've gone against my own rule because this petal here is behind that petal, but this petal is going off the edge of the page and it's rather abstract and very light. So I'm going to go back to my dotted paper. And since it's so abstract, it's going to be okay if it just kind of touches the other petal. I'm going to wrap this around the corner just so that it's not messy. Okay, so this one, while we're over here, is a nice medium pink, and I'm going to grab that out of this paper. And this one also goes off the edge, so it's sort of an abstract shape, and I'm going to grab that out of a different medium paper. That's a little too purple. This one is sort of perfect. It's got a curved pattern in it, and I'm going to tear along that curved pattern to help reinforce the curved shape of my petal. And I'm going to run that right off the edge right here. Now that's running off a bit more, so instead of wrapping it under, I'm going to later flip this over and trim that with an X-Acto blade. So I'll just let it hang there for now. So I'm going to add a little green under there. And here's a little green paper that I've got. I think that'll fit right in there perfectly. Sort of a green blue, but that's all right. Then the center of this flower is some little tiny dots of golden yellow. So I'm going to grab a little yellow paper and I'm going to grab some small dots, as small as I can get them. And then I'm going to grab a lighter, more lemony yellow paper and put a slightly different tone of a dot, yellow dot, in the center. And I've created my first dogwood flower. So there's a quick collage demonstration on working from the back to the front and creating fun and loose impressionistic dogwood flowers. As I said, if you'd like to see this sort of tutorial video more in depth, where I go in and do the branches and the bird and the finishing touches, that in-depth ongoing learning is going to be on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Elizabeth St. Hilaire, or you can go to my website, paperpaintings.com, and click on Patreon. I'll also put a link for you below. But I am really excited about the Patreon opportunity because it is full-length, in-depth collage tutorial videos that are published every single week. And so it's like being in a workshop all the time with me for your subscription of $25 a month. So pop on over there and see what you think. And I thank you for being here, and happy Friday.